program do not necessarily reflect or represent those of the owners, management, or advertisers of Pacific Telestations, Inc. This message has been brought to you by the stations of KUAM.
You're watching Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to this edition of The Buzz. Exciting show tonight. 3 people here, and we're going to be talking sexting. Yeah, pretty X-rated tonight. We have from the AG's office, Deputy AG Carol Hinkle-Sanchez. You're with the Family and Juvenile Division? That's correct. Right? Okay. And we have detectives, the Guam Police Department, detectives from the Juvenile Investigation Section as well. Yes. We have Detective John Balbin, and of course, Detective Richard Valus. Yes. Good evening, gentlemen. Ma'am, how are you doing this evening?
Good. How are you?
Real good. Real good. You gentlemen have been presenting, I think, recently at John F. Kennedy High School about sexting and cyberbullying. First of all, what exactly is, I mean, for us old folks, right? I'm pretty up to that. But what exactly is sexting?
I can answer.
Okay.
Sexting just generally is explicit photos or texting that's passed on from one person to another via cell phone or laptop.
Okay.
Electronic means.
Yes.
Okay. Now, does it necessarily have to be a picture, or can I spell out the words? Can I verbalize it, or I guess put it in writing? Is that considered sexting as well?
If you look at the actual word sex and then sexting together, it's a merged word of sex and text.
And text, yeah.
And basically, what we're seeing is a mixture of both, not just the nude photos, but also the actual sexual acts occurring.
Sure.
So, sexting is generally what we would label as child pornography. So it's any minor who takes pictures of themselves nude pictures of themselves, or performs some type of sexual act and transmits it electronically.
Electronically. Now, if I were to receive something, if someone were to say something for me and it's child pornography, something that I didn't solicit, but it came to me, unsolicited, right? Came to me. What am I supposed to do with something like that? I mean, do I supposed to call the authorities? And what? I mean, I know the right thing to do, but if this is your buddies, hey, dude, you got to get rid of this.
Right.
Man.
The right thing to do, Jess, would be to report it to the Guam Police Department.
Okay.
From there, because you're responsible, I'm sure you're going to do the responsible thing. But the problem happens when you receive it and then you send it to somebody else.
Okay.
So you just became a part of that involvement, whether you wanted to receive it or not. So the best thing to do is just report it, and then let us come down, take whatever footage or information that's on your phone. More likely we'll take your phone for a little bit.
Okay.
And we'll extract whatever information.
And also, Jess, if I may add, if you do receive something like that from a friend and whatnot, don't delete the
okay, because I was gonna ask, because if you do delete it, and I maybe sell my phone or something like that, or whatever, right? Give it to somebody else, and they had former my phone, right? And because I deleted it, I think it's gone into cyber hell or something, wherever it goes to. But we know that doesn't happen. Okay.
It never goes away.
So somebody takes it and says, they want to maybe clear it out and start anew, right? Man, Jess was into this, right? And so they report me. And after I've gone to delete it, but it was there because somebody sent it, but I had deleted it, okay? But then somebody has the phone, and so I'm reported.
Correct. And that's the reason why it's really important. We urge, and a lot of times parents take their kids' phones and they actually see it there, and they're the ones bringing it in to report it.
Sure.
And that's the wise thing to do, because the mere possession of that is possession of child pornography.
Sure.
Again, it's we really look at this crime in the most serious way we can, only because these children, I mean, once it's exposed to the internet world, like you said, it's not ever going to be deleted.
Sure.
I mean, you can hit delete button so many times. You can clean out your phone and do a clean start of your phone. GPD has the equipment, and the FBI's as well. And what they do is they actually do a full clean of it, because nowadays anything on electronic devices, no matter how much you delete it, no matter how much you tell yourself it's not there, it is there. It's somewhere there, and eventually someone will have access to getting it back or restoring it back.
Sure. Now, when you're talking about this, I mean, we tell parents to be responsible, know what your kids are doing, in cyberspace, and most especially in these social media. But you know, I'm an old school kind of guy, right? I mean, I got into technology and I know the basics, right? You know, me as a parent, I'm telling you, I wouldn't know how to really safeguard or get into, because I don't Facebook, I don't Instagram and all that, okay? And that's because I don't like it, but because I don't understand it and how that works. And there are parents or older school than myself who are afraid of technology. So how do you go about, I mean, you're a responsible parent, but how do you monitor this? I mean, our kids, I mean, this is their world now. And how do we really know? I mean, we get in there and we take their word for it and we look, oh, there's nothing here, it's cool. How do we go about that for the old school folks?
I mean, I think they should have that right to look, to know where their kids are going online. You know, what social networking sites they have. Everything is happening online. That's this generation's world. It's all about the internet. It's all about, you know, cyberspace and electronics. You know, they don't have the old-fashioned face-to-face communication because they just have to go onto their phone, WhatsApp, you know, or Instagram or whatever they're doing. And you know, really, it's just they need to be aware that there is problems that happen online. Parents need to be aware that when you give your child an electronic device, you empower them, and you also subject them to some of these problems that is ongoing online, and one of it is sexting, and the other one is cyberbullying that we may be talking about later, and asking your kid to have the password. Sure. It's always important to look what they're doing, and really, because they may not know that they're doing something wrong, or they may be subjected to harm. Somebody may be harassing them online and they just don't want to tell you. So it doesn't hurt to ask and look, and parents need to realize if you can give that device to your child, you have every right to look at it. Sure. You know, I know it's their privacy, but they're still your child. Sure. And the problem is that, you know, our kids are more advanced in technology than their parents, and they are 10 steps ahead of you. So they are gonna, you know, say things that you may not understand, and it's so important to learn what it is. They use computer lingo and everything. Sure.
Now let me ask this, because you know, I know when you are on the internet, you can block certain things out, and you can have, I guess your provider block certain things out for different users. But on a smartphone, I mean, a lot of times, of course, the kids, you know, the younger kids will get phones through their parents, okay, and it'd be under the parents' name, of course, under their plan, right? Now, are there any providers that provide monitoring again? They'll say, hey, I'm going to buy this, and my child's a minor, and you know, they need the information, but I want to be notified, you know, in certain instances that come. Are there devices out there? Are there things that parents or guardians can be notified if you are buying a phone, and let the provider know that this is for a minor?
That you know, I'm not too familiar with it.
So maybe some of the geniuses out there can get that
you know,
now, right?
Here's the thing, Jess, you brought up the fact that you're an old school guy. The bottom line is this: I mean, even with myself, when I talk to some of these high school students, we bring them in, even middle school at that, they're very technical, they're very tech savvy. Sure. They know the ins and out of these devices better than we do. So, you know, my advice to the parents who are starting to learn it is, just like us, we have to learn it. In order for us to learn their ways, we have to learn how it's being accessed. So as far as the provider is concerned, it's really between the parent and the provider to make that type of
connection.
Because they're the only ones that can request for. I mean, for us, we can extract information, but it would have to be through a search warrant, and we have to have reason to.
There may be various applications as well, different kinds of programs, softwares that they can also purchase or download that might be able to do that. But I think, you know, the key is the parent just needs to pick up the child's phone and look into it, because they'll be amazed that there's so much stuff. I mean, that's how some parents found out about the recent fights, the writings, is they see it on their kids. You know, they received it through WhatsApp and Instagram, and you know, it's just parents need to be aware. I mean, if you can give your child the phone, and like I said, I always tell parents, you know, why can't you just give them the traditional phone? They tell you they want to use it for emergency calls, but half the time you're not the one they're calling. And you know, half the time they're on the internet. It's not for emergency calls. So if you buy them the $25 flip phone, you'll save yourself money. And they have no excuse as to what they're doing online. You'll easily monitor their calls and texts.
I got to take a break, pay some bills. We'll be right back. We'll be talking more about sexting.